Hey guys, this is Subhash Mishra, your test coach. Today we will discuss 100 multiple choice manual testing interview questions which are frequently asked in written test. This will also clarify your fundamental questions in manual testing. Practice it well before your interview. Do not worry at all if you are very new to manual testing. Just go through the complete video and let me know in the comment section if it is helpful for you or you need anything more. I'll definitely help you on that. Anyway, let's jump to the first question. What are the testing levels? So the options are unit testing, integration testing, system testing and acceptance testing and all of the above. So here the answer will be all the above because we know different testing levels are unit testing, integration testing, system and acceptance testing. So answer is all the above. Let's move to the next question. Cost of quality equal to prevention cost plus appraisal cost plus failure cost. So is it a right statement? Yes, this is true. So the answer is true here. Cost of quality depends upon prevention cost plus appraisal cost plus failure cost. Let's move to the next question. A useful tool to visualize, clarify, link, identify and classify possible cause of a problem. This is also called as a fishbone diagram. What is this? So the options are Pareto analysis and cause and effect diagram. The answer is cause and effect diagram. Let's move to the next one. It measures the quality of process used to create a quality product. It is a system of management activities. It is a preventive process. It applies for entire life cycle and deals with process. So what is this? The options are validation, verification, quality assurance, quality control. So if you read it carefully, what it is telling, it measures the quality of process used to create a quality product. It is a system of management activities. It is a preventive process. So definitely it is quality assurance. So the answer is C, quality assurance. Let's move to the next. Variance from product specification is called what? Report, requirement, defect. So if something varies from the product specification, then it will be a defect. So the answer is defect here. So the next question, verification is process based or product based. So verification is definitely a process based things. So verification is process based. Let's move to the next. White box testing is not called as what? Glass box testing, closed box testing, open box testing and clear box testing. So the answer is closed box testing. White box testing is not called as closed box testing. Okay, let's move to the next one. Name the events that will be analyzed, count the named incidents, rank the count by frequency using a bar chart and validate reasonableness of the analysis is called as what? Pareto analysis, cause and effect diagram, SWOT analysis and pie charts. So it is known as Pareto analysis. So remember it very well. The event that will be analyzed, count the name incidents, rank the count by frequency using a bar chart and validate reasonable of the analysis is called as Pareto analysis. Okay, let's move to the next. Retesting of a single program or component after a change has been made, what it is called? Full regression testing, unit regression testing, regional regression and a retesting. So let's read it carefully. A retesting of a single program or component after a change has been made. So it is, we are talking about a single program or a single component. Okay, so it is known as unit regression. Okay, let's move to the next. Requirement and analysis, design, development or coding, testing and maintenance is called as a software development life cycle, SDLC, whether it is true or false. Okay, it is known as, it is true. Okay, let's move to the next question. The testing which is done by going through the code is known as unit testing, black box testing, white box testing and regression testing. The testing which is done by going through the code is known as white box testing. Okay, let's move to the next. Configuration management plan describes the configuration management procedures and structures to be used. Whether it is true or false, it is true. Okay, let's move to the next. This type of testing method attempts to find incorrect or missing functions, errors in data structures or external database access, interface errors, performance errors, and initialization and termination error. It is called as, the options are white box testing, grey box testing, black box testing, open box testing. Let's read it very carefully. The type of testing method attempts to find incorrect or missing functions, errors in data structures or external database access, interface errors, performance errors. So all this known as black box testing. Okay, let's move to the next. Phase definition, it will come under what? CMM level 1, CMM level 2, none. So it will come under CMM level 2. Okay, so the answer is CMM level 2. Let's move to the next. Software testing which is done without planning and documentation is known as what? Ad hoc, unit, regression or functional testing. So whatever we do without planning and documentation, it is known as ad hoc testing. So the answer is ad hoc testing here. Then let's move to the next. Acceptance testing is known as what? Beta testing, grey box testing, test automation, white box testing. So we know acceptance testing is known as beta testing. Okay, so let's move to the next. Retesting the entire application after a change has been made called as what? Full regression testing, unit regression, regional regression, retesting. So here we are talking about testing the entire application, so it is known as full regression testing. Okay, let's move to the next. Boundary value analysis belongs to which testing method? Black box testing, white box testing. We know boundary value analysis is a test case design technique, so it is known as black box testing. Okay, let's move to the next. It measures the quality of a product. It is a specific part of the QA procedure. It is a corrective process. It applies for particular product and deals with the product. So what it is? Validation, verification, quality assurance, quality control. So read it carefully. It measures the quality of a product. It is specific part of the QA procedure. It is a corrective process. It applies for the particular product and deals with the product. So it is known as quality control. Okay, let's move to the next. What are the type of integration testing? So big bang testing, bottom up testing, top down testing. So and the next is all the above. So all these methods, right? Big bang testing, bottom up testing, top down testing, all are part of integration testing. So answer is all the above. Okay, let's move to the next. Product risk affects the quality or performance of the software. True or false? So product risk affects the quality or performance of the software. Definitely it is a true statement, right? Let's move to the next. A metric used to measure the characteristic of a documentation and code called as what? Process metric, product metric, test metric. It is called as product metric. Let's move to the next, which is non-functional software testing. Unit testing, black box testing, performance testing, regression testing. So we know the functional testing are part of like unit testing, black box, regression. Only the performance testing is non-functional software testing, right? So answer is performance testing. Let's move to the next. The process that deals with the technical and management issues of a software development is called as delivery process, testing process, software process. So the process that deals with the technical and management issues of the software development is called software process. Okay, let's move to the next. Executing the same test case on a modified build called as regression testing, retesting, ad hoc testing, sanity testing. It is known as executing the same test case on a modified build called as regression testing. Okay, let's move to the next, which is black box testing method. Equivalent partitioning, code coverage, fault injection. So equivalent partitioning is the black box testing method. Okay, let's move to the next. Business risk affects the organization developing or procuring the software. This is a true statement. Answer is true. Let's move to the next. Stratification is a technique used to analyze or divide a universe of data into homogeneous groups. True or false? So this statement is true. Okay, let's move to the next. Automation testing should be done before starting manual testing. Is the above statement correct? So typically it is no, but yes, in some time we should able to do automation testing before starting the manual test. Typical example you can give API testing kind of things, but yes, in this case definitely we can say no. Okay, let's move to the next. Earlier a defect is found, the cheaper it is to fix it. Is the above statement correct? So read it again. Earlier a defect is found, the cheaper it is to fix it. Yes, this statement is correct. As early we will find a defect, so we will fix it, right? So the cost will be definitely less. So the statement is correct here and answer is yes. Informing to the developer which bug to be fixed first is called as severity, priority, fixability, traceability. So here we are talking about how fast we can fix the bug. So informing to the developer which bug to be fixed first, so it is known as priority. Okay, so the answer is priority here. Let's move to the next one. Software testing is a process of evaluating a system by manual or automatic means and verify that it satisfies specified requirements or identity difference between expected and actual results. So the option are true or false. Whether it is true or false, it is a true statement. Okay, let's move to the next. Retesting modules connected to the program or component after a change has been made. So the answers are full regression testing, unit regression, regional regression and retesting. Read it again. Retesting modules connected to the program or component after a change has been made. So it is regional regression. Okay, let's move to the next. An important metric is the number of defects found in internal testing compared to the defects found in customer test. Status of test activities against the plan. Test coverage achieved so far comes under what? Process metric, product metric or test metric. So these are definitely test metric. So answer here is test metric. Let's move to the next. Alpha testing will be done at user side or developer side. We know alpha testing is done at developer side. So answer is B, developer side. Let's move to the next. SPICE means what? SPICE means software process improvement and capability determination. So the option here is A, answer is A. Okay. Let's move to the next question. Requirement specification, planning, test case design, execution, bug reporting and maintenance. This life cycle comes under what? SDLC, STLC, SQLC, BLC. So requirement specification, planning, test case design, execution, bug reporting and maintenance, all these come part of SDLC. So answer here is B, SDLC, software test life cycle. Okay, let's move to the next. It provides a set of labels and an assessment model and presents a set of recommended practices that allow organizations to improve their testing process. So the options are team, TMM, TQM. So answer here is team, which is known as Testing Improvement Model. Okay, let's move to the next. Standards and procedures for managing changes in an evolving software product is called as confirmation management, configuration management, configuration management and compatibility management. The answer is configuration management. Okay, let's move to the next. Path tested equal to number of paths tested divided by total number of paths. So this is a true statement. Okay, let's move to the next. This testing technique examines the basic program structure and it derives the test data from the program logic. ensuring that all statements and conditions executed at least once. It is called as black box testing, white box testing, grey box testing, closed box testing. It is known as white box testing. White box testing is a testing technique which examines the basic program structure and it derives the test data from the program logic, ensuring that all statements and conditions executed at least once. This is known as white box testing. Answer here is white box testing. Let's move to the next. This type of test include how well the user will be able to understand and interact with the system. Options are usability testing, user acceptance testing, alpha testing and beta testing. So the answer is usability testing. In usability testing, test include how well the user will be able to understand and interact with the system. Okay, so answer is usability testing. Defects generally fall into the following categories. Options are wrong, missing, extra, all the above. So the answer here is all the above. Okay, defects can be categorized into wrong, missing, extra, all these categories. Okay, let's move to next one. What is correct software process cycle? Plan, check, act, do, or plan, do, check, act, plan, do, act, check. So the answer is plan, do, check, act. So first you need to plan, then do, check and then act. Let's move to the next question. Conducted to validate that the application, database and network they may be running on can handle projected volumes of users and data effectively. The test is conducted jointly by developers, testers, DBAs and the network associates after the system testing called as what? Functional testing, stress or load testing, recovery testing or integration testing. It is known as stress or load testing. Okay, let's move to the next one. Maintenance plan predicts the maintenance requirements of the system, maintenance cost and effort required. So this is a true statement. Okay, let's move to the next. Beta testing will be done by developer, user or tester. Beta testing is always done by the users. So answer is B, user. Let's move to the next. Validation plan describes the approach, resources and schedule used for system validation. Answer here is true. Okay, let's move to the next. Integration, it will come under what? CMM level 1, level 3, level 2 or none. Integration, it comes under CMM level 3. Okay, so answer is B, CMM level 3. Let's move to the next. Type of quality tools are problem identification tools and problem analysis tools. Okay, so whether it is a true or false statement, let's read it again. Types of quality tools are problem identification tools and problem analysis tools. So the statement is true here. Okay, let's move to the next. Which software development lifecycle model will require to start testing activities when starting development activities itself? So it is known as V model, where we do parallel things. So answer is V model. Okay, let's move to the next one. A metric used to measure the characteristic of the methods, techniques and tools employed in developing, implementing and maintaining the software system called as process metric, product metric or test metric. It is known as process metric. Okay, let's move to the next. Checksheet checklist is considered a simple but powerful statistical tool because it differentiates between two extremes. So this statement is true. Okay, let's move to the next. Application should be stable. Clear design and flow of the application is needed for automation testing. Okay, this is a true statement. Okay, let's move to the next. Quality plan describes the quality, procedures and standards that will be used in a project. This is a true statement. Okay, let's move to the next one. How severely the bug is affecting the application is called as severity. Okay, so we know how severe the bug is, how severely the bug is impacting the application. It is known as severity. So answer is A, severity. Let's move to the next. project risk affects the schedule or resources. Definitely it is a true statement. Let's move to the next. The name of the testing which is done to make sure the existing features are not affected by new changes is known as what? Recursive testing, white box testing, unit testing and regression testing. It is known as regression testing. Answer is D. Let's move to the next. Management and measurement. It will come under what? CMM level 1, level 3, level 4 or level 2. Answer is CMM level 4. Management and measurement, it will come under CMM level 4. Okay, let's move to the next. Ad hoc testing is part of unit testing, regression testing, exploratory testing, performance testing. It is part of exploratory testing. Okay, let's move to the next one. Cost of production is equal to write the fast time cost RTF plus cost of quality. This is a true statement. Okay, let's move to the next. Dash means under what test environments, hardware, software setup, the application will run smoothly. So the options are test bed, checkpoint, code walkthrough, checklist. So the answer here is test bed. Test bed means under what test environment, hardware, software setup, the application will run smoothly. So answer is test bed. Let's move to the next. TQM represents what? TQM represents total quality management. So the option is C. So answer is C here. Let's move to the next. Optimization, defect prevention and quality control. It comes under what? CMM level 2, level 3, level 4 and level 5. So answer is CMM level 5. Okay, let's move to the next. Unit testing will be done by whom? Testers, end users, customers, developers. We know unit testing is always done by developers. So answer is developers. Beta testing will be done at what? Users place or developers place. Beta testing is always done at developers place. Okay. So the answer is developers place. Let's move to the next. A plan to overcome the risk called as migration plan, master plan, maintenance plan and mitigation plan. So it is always known as mitigation plan. Okay, mitigation plan to overcome the risk. Okay, so we call it as mitigation plan. Let's move to the next. Which of the following is not one of the technique to find defects? Operational techniques, functional techniques, dynamic techniques, static techniques. So it is operational techniques. Okay, let's move to the next. Quality assurance methods are usually considered detective, corrective, preventive and proactive. Quality assurance is always preventive. Okay, let's move to the next. Who has the primary responsibility of setting the quality culture in the organization? So the options are senior management, training department, the quality department, nobody. So answer is the quality department. Let's move to the next. Verification is checking that we are building the right system, checking that we are building the system right, performed by an independent test team, making sure that it is what the user really wants. So verification is checking that we are building the system right. Okay, let's move to the next one. A regression test will always be automated, will help ensure unchanged areas of the software have not been affected, will help ensure changed areas of the software have not been affected, can only be run during the user acceptance testing. So the B is looks more correct, will help ensure unchanged areas of the software have not been affected. So the answer is B. Okay, let's move to the next question. If an expected result is not specified, then we cannot run the test. It may be difficult to repeat the test. It may be difficult to determine if the test has passed or failed. We cannot automate the user inputs. So the question was, if an expected result is not specified, then the option is C. It may be difficult to determine if the test has passed or failed. Okay, let's move to the next. Which of the following is not a static testing technique? Error guessing, walkthrough, data flow analysis, inspections. So the answer is walkthrough. Walkthrough is not a static testing technique. Okay, let's move to the next. Which of the following statements about component testing is not true? Component testing should be performed by the development. Component testing is also known as isolation or module testing. Component testing should have completion criteria planned. Component testing doesn't involve regression testing. So which of the following statement about component testing is not true? So here the answer is component testing doesn't involve regression testing. Okay, let's move to the next. During which test activity could faults be found most cost effectively? So the options are execution, design, planning, check exit criteria, completion. So the answer is planning here. Okay, let's move to the next. The purpose of requirement phase is to freeze requirements, to understand user needs, to define the scope of testing, all of the above. So all these things can help here. So the answer is all of the above. Okay, the purpose of requirement phase is to freeze requirements, to understand user needs, to define the scope of testing. So answer is D, all of the above. Let's move to the next one. Which in general is the least required skill of a good tester? Being diplomatic, able to write software, having good attention to detail, able to be relied on. So the answer is able to write software. So being a tester, maybe this is the least required skill. Okay, let's move to the next. The process starting with the terminal modules is called as top-down integration, bottom-up integration, none of the above, module integration. The process starting with the terminal modules is called bottom-up integration. Okay, let's move to the next. The inputs for developing a test plan are taken from project plan, business plan, support plan, none of the above. So the inputs for developing a test plan are taken from project plan. Okay, let's move to the next. Function or test matrix is a type of interim test report, final test report, project status report, or management report. It is a project status report. Okay, let's move to the next. Defect management process does not include defect prevention, deliverable baselining, management reporting, none of the above. So defect management process does not include deliverable baselining. So it's only related to defect, right? So it will have defect prevention, management reporting, and again none of the above anyway not required. So we are giving deliverable baselining. Okay, so software testing accounts to what percent of software development cost? So options are 10 to 20, 40 to 50, 70 to 80, 5 to 10. So answer is 40 to 50. Software testing accounts to what percent? To 40 to 50% of software development cost. Okay, let's move to the next question. How much testing is enough? This question is impossible to answer. The answer depends on the risk for your industry, contract, and special requirements. The answer depends on the maturity of your developers. The answer should be standardized for the software development industry. So the answer here is B. The answer depends on the risk for your industry, contract, and special requirements. Let's move to the next. Which of the following is not a characteristic for testability? Operability, observability, simplicity, robustness. So the answer is robustness. Okay, let's move to the next. Which of these can be successfully tested using loop testing methodology? Simple loops, nested loops, concatenated loops, all of the above. So all of the above. Okay, let's move to the next. Inspections can find all the following excepts: variable not defined in the code, spelling and grammar faults in the documents, requirements that have been omitted from the design documents, how much of the code has been covered. So the answer here is how much of the code has been covered. Okay, inspection can find how much of the code has been covered. Okay, let's move to the next. When a new testing tool is purchased, it should be used first by a small team to establish the best way to use the tool, everyone who may eventually have some use for the tool, the independent testing team, the vendor contractor to write the initial scripts. So answer is a small team to establish the best way to use the tool. Let's move to the next. What is the purpose of test completion criteria in a test plan? So the options are to know when a specific test has finished its execution, to ensure that the test case specification is complete, to set the criteria used in generating test inputs, to know when test planning is complete, to plan when to stop testing. So the purpose of test completion criteria in a test plan is to plan when to stop testing. Okay, so the answer is E, to plan when to stop testing. Let's move to the next. Which of the following is not a black box testing technique? So equivalence partitioning, state transition testing, LCSAJ, syntax testing, boundary value analysis. So other than LCSAJ, all are part of black box testing. So answer here is LCSAJ. Okay, let's move to the next. The main focus of acceptance testing is finding faults in the system, ensuring that the system is acceptable to all the users, testing the system with the other systems, testing for a business perspective, testing by an independent test team. So acceptance testing is more related to a business perspective. Okay, testing for a business perspective. Okay, let's move to the next. Expected results are only important in system testing, only used in component testing, never specified in advance, most useful when specified in advance, derived from the code. So it is most useful when specified in advance. So answer is D. Let's move to the next. Which of the following is not part of system testing? Business process based testing, performance load and stress testing, requirement based testing, usability testing, top down integration testing. So the answer is top down integration testing. Okay, let's move to the next. Which of the following is not part of performance testing? Measuring response time, measuring transaction rates, recovery testing, simulating many users, generating many transactions. So the answer here is recovery testing. All others are part of performance testing, measuring response time, measuring transaction rates, simulating many users, generating many transactions, all are part of performance testing. Let's move to the next. Which one of the following are not non-functional testing methods? System testing, usability testing, performance testing, both B and C. So both B and C are non-functional testing methods, usability and performance. System testing is functional testing. Okay, so answer is both B and C. Let's move to the next. During the software development process, at what point can the test process start? When the code is complete, when the design is complete, when the software requirements have been approved, when the first code module is ready for unit testing. So the answer here is when the software requirements have been approved. Okay, we can start all the test process. Okay, when the requirements are freezed or the requirements have been approved. Let's move to the next. Acceptance test cases are based on what? Requirements, design, code, decision table. Acceptance test cases are based on requirements. Let's move to the next. Independent verification and validation is done by the developer, done by test engineer, done by management, done by an entity outside the project sphere of influence. So it is done by an entity outside the project sphere of influence. Okay, let's move to the next. Which of the following is not described in a unit test standard? Syntax testing, equivalence partitioning, stress testing, modified condition or decision coverage. Which of the following is not described in a unit test standard, right? So it is stress testing. Okay, let's move to the next. Which of the following is a form of functional testing? Boundary value analysis, usability testing, performance testing, security testing. Answer is boundary value analysis. We know boundary value analysis is a test case design technique. That's why it is a functional testing technique. Okay, so that's all 100 questions we have. Okay, these are very important for your written test, so please practice it well. Thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. I'll try to explain it. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel.